Hello, my name is Enrique, and this is a review of the techniques for analyzing sea turtle diet. There are 7 species in the Callionidae family, and only one of them is not considered threatened due to data deficiency. When you're working with threatened species, your options become much more limited. For example, the opposite would be invasive species, and with these you could just harvest them and access their gut contents like that. But since these turtles are threatened, there would be ecological and moral implications for doing that. On top of that, sea turtles have an extremely large migration range and live underwater, so observing them and watching their consumption patterns is not very viable. For all these reasons, there ends up being limitations to sample size, and that comes with potential sampling bias. So necropsies are one of the most common techniques for sampling turtle diet. This is done by surgically removing the gastrointestinal tract, opening it up, and undergoing stomach content analysis. So the advantages of necropsies are that they allow for a complete and objective observation of stomach contents, and samples can be preserved for further testing and for future research. The disadvantages are that they're limited to carcasses obtained by coastal strandings and bycatch. There's also potential bias in the diet, since different food items don't digest at the same rate, so there might be some that are over or underrepresented. The foraging locations are also unknown, so it's hard to try and measure preference with that. And you're going to have to dispose of a large 200 to 400 pound carcass at the end of it, so that's not as fun. Another common technique is esophageal lavage. This is done by placing the turtle on its carapace, propping its mouth open, and pumping food particles out of its stomach that are strained and collected. The advantages of this technique are that it's easily combined with other field data collections. The foraging location of turtles is known. It can remove harmful pollutants from the turtle's mouth and stomach, and it's relatively simple. The disadvantages are that some studies find it to underrepresent animal matter compared to other diet analysis methods, and like necropsies, it can be biased based on the food digestion rates, and it comes with the risk of handling an animal as well. So a relatively new technique for sampling sea turtle diet is eDNA metabarcoding. This is done by taking swabs from the sea turtle's esophagus and cloaca, extracting the DNA, and then taxonomically assigning the sequences to genus level identification. And the taxonomic assignment is based on field samples that are collected prior to the swabs. The advantages of eDNA are that it's less invasive than esophageal lavage, but it still has the benefits of knowing the forage location. The 2 swabs can be compared to estimate ingestion rates. Given enough data, it can identify dietary niches within the ecosystem as well. The disadvantages are that it requires prior fieldwork for taxonomic assignment. It also requires advanced lab procedures and training, and its ability to identify food items is limited to the items that are collected in the field. At this point, it seems that necropsies and esophageal lavage have kind of reached their potential. Both can and have led to significant findings, but they come with the trade-offs. eDNA metabarcoding, on the other hand, is different, and it seems to have the potential to grow past its current limitations. But budget would be really the main consideration for this. So lower budgets would use necropsies, and higher budgets, I'd recommend to use eDNA, with esophageal lavage lying somewhere in the middle of that. And the timescale is also very important. Like necropsies, for example, they would need much more time to collect the same amount of data as the other 2 techniques. But overall, I think eDNA metabarcoding seems to be the most effective and promising method at analyzing sea turtle diet. But esophageal lavage and necropsies still have their place. If you have any questions, please comment below. Thank you for your time, and thank you for listening.